Okay, we are live. Hello, friends and enemies. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the April mayoral address on the 1st of not April. We're running a little bit late, but we are here, all of us, and we're here with Mike Kemling, aka Three Wheel. How are
Howdy.
you doing, sir?
Not bad, all things considered. Thank you.
Yeah, there's been a lot of interesting news floating about Wasteland Weekend. I have to apologize to the people on my channel because I just made a video where I informed all of you that Wasteland was going to occur as scheduled. And they just announced today that sadly the event will be postponed till 2021, as well as Neotropolis. Both events are going to be postponed until next year. I got my mayoral cabinet with me. We got Mr. Fahrenheit, the Nightmare.
Hello, all.
How are you doing, Nightmare?
Oh, I'm quite well. I'm preparing for a
When you
feast.
say it, it sounds like nightmare.
I know.
Yeah.
That's really the trick. I'm preparing.
Did you
for,
just get that right now?
Yeah, just now.
Really?
Oh,
Because I've been explaining
You're
how that's
so pretty.
I've been explaining how that's the joke since I created it based on the pun.
Huh.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the smart ass in the lower corner is Aaron, the interpreter. How are you doing, Aaron?
I'm doing all right. If there's any protests happening in my city, I'm safe in my apartment for right now. So
Excellent.
Good.
We're all
Yeah.
living our best other pandemic apocalypse life.
yeah, the Florida of California is where I live.
Oh man, that's
Yeah.
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 So yeah, they just announced on all the social media that Wasteland Weekend 2020 will not be happening. Instead, the event and Neotropolis are postponed until 2021. I don't think this is a bad thing. I don't want to speak for my entire cabinet here because I want to get your guys' thoughts on this and everything. I
I'm
know,
grateful.
yeah, I am grateful as well. I know that a lot of you guys are going to be disappointed. Some of you already knew that this was coming regardless. But just due to the current events going on, the current pandemic, it is the safest option. And Wasteland's not going anywhere. So if you're missing out, so is everybody else. So don't feel too bad.
You cannot feel FOMO because there is NOMO.
So how do
Yeah.
you guys feel
I got a
about
laugh
this whole
and a
thing?
groan. It's working out.
Who? Oh yeah, that was a laugh. I didn't laugh.
I
I just want to make sure I wasn't like being confused for that laugher.
Oh yeah,
'cause I was like,
the interpreter laughed because she thought it was funny. Let that be on the record.
Write that
Yeah.
down.
Rewind the track. You can see that the Nightmare is being a used car salesman and flipping things right now.
Ooh.
I personally, I'm grateful that they made the announcement that Wasteland is canceled, because I am like, where I live, I'm seeing a lot of people not practicing social distancing. They're boycotting this, saying it's not real. They're not wearing masks. And so going to there's no way to properly social distance at Wasteland. Like
You
Going-
you can't
you can't.
socially distance while yelling "Embrace me."
Yeah. Or like, here, try this alcohol that I made. Try this, try that. Oh, I have this cool like. There's no way to. So there's no way to do it.
Yeah, it's a social event when it comes down to it. There's no way to safely be amongst a crowd of people screaming at a concert at the main stage. And I think we have to keep in mind going forward with Wasteland 2021 that we're going to have to change a little bit of how we do these things. If you're on here and you're thinking of attending, but most of all, if you're thinking of having a tribe, having a camp and stuff, be safe. There's a very social drink culture, I guess you could say, at Wasteland. Everybody shares drinks and stuff.
Food. People share food.
Yes.
Mhm.
And you got to really keep those things in mind and make a little bit of changes to keep people's public safety in mind. The one benefit we do have, and I think everybody kind of, most people, I think, foresaw this coming, the cancellation, of course, with bigger events like Burning Man and stuff like that, having to cancel for public safety. The one thing we do have on our side is time now. So if you were nervous about that outfit or that camp, if you put on a big operation like Mike here does with the Rabid Radstag, you have a whole year to get that stuff in gear. No pressure. You also, this is a tough time. So understandably, if you don't use that time, I guess
I'll
you would
judge you
productively. Aaron will judge you, but
Otherwise, you have a bonus 12 months.
yeah, and we have time to build something really cool. So 2021 is going to be very neat. My first term as mayor will be digital, so I'll get to showcase you guys a lot of stuff and a lot of tribes and stuff. We got a lot planned here with the cabinet. That was the time for you guys to start pitching stuff.
Sorry, I had a mouthful of cup of noodles. I do have a question though, or something to bring up, because we had talked about if Wasteland didn't happen, what's going to happen with the sheriff?
Well, since it wouldn't make much sense, at least my perspective, is that we simply push everything back 1 year because you can't really have the sheriff's election. If the sheriff was elected digitally, they wouldn't have their ability to be sheriff. So
plus, you can't accept bribes as easly, not
correct.
In person. Yeah.
And even if you were bribed, you wouldn't really be able to fulfill your duties. So, in my opinion, sheriff and mayoral terms basically are pushed back to the next year that we currently have of Wasteland.
Or maybe you're just absolutely wonderful like me and win without bribing. But either way, I really don't want to make another mayoral video and another sheriff video and then lose. So I hope they push it back another year.
Correct. It's a fit. As far as I'm concerned, the next sheriff election will be in 2021.
Yeah.
I'm into that.
Yeah, I don't hide my salt about that one. You guys all know. You all know.
Look, that election was the least rigged election we've ever seen at Wasteland, to be frank.
That is not true.
Yeah,
I was robbed. I'm genuinely mad about it.
I'm not saying you weren't. I'm not saying you weren't robbed, but I am saying that the judges were not bribed, especially because, like, Kate Photon was trying to solicit bribes.
Trail Boss literally walked up to people and was like, "Hi, I am a judge. Bribe me and I will vote for you."
Also,
and they're like, "What?"
Fixer is notoriously difficult to bribe.
I love Fixer. We should get him on here. But tonight's not about Fixer.
Tonight is about our current guest, Three Wheel.
That's right.
So I keep looking at your icon, Three Wheel.
Yeah.
Can you explain that to me?
Oh yeah, it's a yellow bull.
What does it represent?
Literally, I mean my attitude at the current moment.
If you don't tell the story, I'm going to.
Yeah, go on. Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Three Will, is there a story to go along with this?
Oh boy. Yeah. I mean, there is. There literally is. It's a great story, a fantastic story, and I could tell you about it. It'd be a great story. I'm sure you'd all love it. But yeah.
We'll get into that because I know it feeds a little bit into your operation of the Rabid Radstag, if I recall. Weren't you procuring items for the Radstag?
It was a literal Craigslist attempt is where it all started.
Oh, yes. Now it's all coming back to me.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Wow. Was it really that funny?
Yes, it was.
It's mainly funny in retrospect, but also yes.
Especially because I didn't know. I totally forgot about it, and somebody brought it up not too long ago and then tagged me in it, and you were like, "Really? Again?" And I was like, "I forgot."
I also have not thought about it since that actually happened, so that's why there's still a lot of humor payload for me.
What? Yeah. It occupies my mind every day.
Especially because you're like, "No, I really need it, bro."
Yeah,
I tried so hard.
Man. You did everything you could have.
Okay, explain the story for the people that haven't heard it.
No.
Okay, so I'll start from the top.
Yes.
We needed
the top.
Yeah.
Shut up.
What have you, right?
I'm never gonna
uh,
stop laughing.
I'm muting myself.
we needed a generator for the saloon. We needed a couple of generators. So what I did was I was looking on Craigslist and found a nice Honda generator and pinged this guy about it. And he said it was definitely for sale. And, I said, sweet. I will meet you wherever, pick it up, cash in hand, all that, as long as it works.
Was it a good deal?
It was a fair market value for a used generator. It's like the Honda EU 2000 series, which like hold their value pretty well, and they're super quiet, which is kind of the main drawing point, and reliable. So I forget how much they wanted for it. It's kind of irrelevant to the story.
But it was reasonable, and it was a great value.
Exactly. So I pinged this guy, and we made arrangements to meet up and get it. And I let him know I was on my way and shoved my phone into my pocket. So I went and I got the cash from the bank and got ready to head right over to our meeting spot. And I take out my phone to let him know I'm about like 10 minutes away. And the last thing I hear is, I think it's something along the lines of, "What the hell is this? Don't come to my place. Forget about it. Deals off." And what I had sent him was this like animated GIF of this bull that I have as my profile picture here, except he was twerking. It's basically the only movement of the bull were just his butt cheeks moving up and down. I could probably find a link somewhere. It was absolutely ridiculous. And the thing is, I had sent the twerking bull GIF to my girlfriend like before, as like this is me like cheesily flirting with my girlfriend, like hey babe, what are you up to tonight with the twerking bull? But when you send this to a complete stranger, there's literally nothing you can fucking say that's going to get you out of this. And
it's going to get you a generator.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, he already said "fuck off," and I'm like, I think my answer was something along the lines of like, "No, wait, I'm not like that. Please, all I want is the generator. This wasn't some weird like Craigslist. I'm trying to hook up with you randomly by sending you, like weird cartoonish animals shaking their butt, or
I'm gonna post a link in the chat."
Because it was right after you're like, "Okay, I'm on my way," and then that GIF.
Actually,
and then he's like, what the hell? And you're like, "Wait, no, sorry, it's not like that. No, it's my pocket did it." Like, you were like, everything you said made sense, but this person like made in their mind, and it was probably like their first time on Craigslist, and people had given them horror stories.
Oh my god, that was so funny.
There you go.
It was rough. And then it just took off.
If you go to that link, you'll see it.
Oh boy.
Okay, sorry, keep going through, Will.
And so then I posted that story on Craigslist. It's like, haha, I did this thing. It was embarrassing. And it fucking blew up. Like, people thought it was funny, like way funnier than I thought it was funny.
Oh, it's hilarious.
So yeah. And then I think it was Zephyr decided to make bottle caps of the twerking bull and hand them out to people. Yeah, it was his commemorative cap thing. It's pretty funny. So
didn't he make it
Zephyr so much?
Didn't he make it look like you too? He like put your like iconic hat on it or something.
Yes, he did. He put a fucking hat on it. God damn it. Yeah.
I want one.
I have them. I have quite a few left over.
If you make that patch, I will buy it.
Oh shit.
Make that an exclusive for the Rabid Rad Stag.
Yeah.
I would buy one. That'd be hilarious. Nero in the chat says that he has a cap of that.
Well,
Nero, way to show off and brag.
For Neotropolis, you just need to find a way to make it holographic, so that way, when you tilt it, you can see the bull twerking.
Yeah, we'll just take the same exact bull and put those pink sunglasses that have the lines through instead of actually like sunglasses.
Of course.
Yeah.
If only you could make it a custom QR code or something, so that when people scan it, that's what appears.
I do like that.
That's fucking genius.
Oh my god. So, Three Wheel, how long have you been going to Wasteland Weekend? Because I know when you search Wasteland Weekend, photos of your kind of iconic look and stuff show up. There's quite a few photos of you.
Oh
And
shit, yeah. My first year was 2012, and my look that year was like not really established yet. I was kind of like into the whole like post-apocalyptic look thing. I'd been going to like Burning Man for a few years before I went to Wasteland, and I was kind of doing post-apocalyptic out there before like Wasteland was a thing, and because it was just my thing. And I had been the person who introduced me to Wasteland was Doug Corbin. Yeah, I had been playing airsoft with him for years before I went out there, and he was like, "Yeah, man, you got to come out to this thing. It's like super great. You're gonna love it. It's like a big Mad Max costume party." I'm like, "Dude, that sounds fucking awesome. Sign me up."
I
And he's
knew you were going to do an impersonation.
and so he tells me that he's on build crew and he volunteers and he does a shitload of work and he does, and so he signed me up. And so the plan was to go out there with my wife at the time and help do setup. So we met basically at Adam's house, except we didn't meet at Adam's house because Doug broke down on his way out there.
oh no.
So it was just me, my first year out there as a volunteer, helping do the load up and the drive out. And like basically they loaded everything onto Spud's old trailer, and I went out there with him to take it out, and Pedrick was out there setting up in advance, and there's a lot of old hats out there, and and so I went out there and they dropped everything off and they said, "Okay, we need you to stay here and make sure nobody steals all the shit." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I followed them out there in my truck, but I had no supplies. I didn't have any water. I didn't have any food. The plan was like to go like set up camp and then go to town for food. And Adam says like, "You can't leave the stuff there alone." And I was the only one there. So I was there at Wasteland about like a week before Wasteland with no supplies, no food, no water, out in the middle of the desert. And I'm like, okay, well, I can't make a bad impression my first year. My wife is pissed. We have like fucking like goldfish crackers to eat for dinner and shit. And like we don't have cell reception out there, so we have no idea where. Like we didn't know where California City was. This was H Park, and we went in from the backside, like past was it Kramer Junction? And so like this place was the middle of nowhere, and it was pretty bad times. And we still joke about Adam leaving me out in the middle of the desert my first year. It's funny shit. So
how long were you out there before somebody came back and then you could go get food?
So a day and a half.
You didn't even say, "Yo, bro, I don't have food or water"?
I did. I texted him and he sent Spud back and he came back with like a couple of Gatorades and that was it.
Oh
my gosh.
That's even worse somehow.
It's like, here's a couple Gatorades, have fun, kid.
Yeah, it was rough.
But also kind of indicative of how you survive these events when you first start out.
It definitely set a precedent, and everything from that point forward got better. So like, it was good. It's good to set the bar low and improve every year after that. And it was good times. My wife never forgave me, but
I'm laughing. I'm mean.
She had since come back to Wasteland and did enjoy it, but
Did she eat goldfish?
We always eat goldfish. It's pretty much a camping staple as far as I'm concerned. Goldfish, and also for me, like my treat that I bring out to Wasteland, and like I don't really eat anywhere else. It's just basically like raw Pop-Tarts, like cherry Pop-Tarts, like straight out of the box.
That's all you eat at Wasteland?
No, that's my
goldfish?
treat.
Oh,
I mostly just eat Cliff Bars for breakfast,
and goldfish,
lunch, and dinner. Yeah, and goldfish. Yeah,
that's foolish. Why don't you just come to breakfast at Fahrenheit's?
That's what I do.
Oh, is that a thing? I didn't know that was a thing.
Oh,
I didn't realize that you showed up to be Wastelander of the Month just to insult me.
I mean,
you could float me an invite, then I would know about it.
Everyone's invited.
Have to set this up. Fahrenheit. I didn't even have to set this up beforehand. This is real.
I know. No, breakfast at Fahrenheit's is an institution. We have, by we I mean myself, cooks a giant breakfast feast pretty much every day, starting around 9 until I'm tired of cooking.
Sweet. That sounds way better than Cliff Bars.
Oh yeah, we've got bacon, we've got eggs, we've got brats, we've got sausage, we got bacon fried toast, we got eggs in a basket, we got fancy cheese, we got apples and strawberries, we got things.
However, wasn't 2012 before breakfast at Fahrenheit's was a thing, or was it still around?
No, he's still eating Cliff Bars and
even now.
I do want to say that I knew who you were by your costuming before I knew you as a person.
Really?
Yeah.
So what was the first costume that you knew me by?
I think it's the one you have now. It's one of like your hat. I can't remember, but I just knew that your costumes were super intricate and intense. Do you remember when we first met?
No.
It was a party at the False Prophet's house. I think it was his birthday party.
Yes. Okay. I remember now. You were wearing like that mermaid fishnet legging thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
The mermaid leggings. But I just remember I knew who you were and I had wanted to meet you, but I was like still new and very shy. And so I was just like, I know who you are, you're Mike Hemling. And you just like looked at me like, okay. And I was like, I know who you are.
I remember being shocked because your outfit, I'd always seen it, and it's like a heavy leather. It's a leather jacket, has a lot of stuff on it. I remember you had the hat with the horns. So I think your hat still has the horns on it, right? They like curl back.
Yes.
I love the new iteration of the boots.
Yes.
Oh, thanks.
But if you guys haven't seen Mike's outfit, looks hot. It's like almost entirely leather and heavy things. I remember it has tires on it. Pretty iconic look. But I remember when I first saw it, I was like, you can't wear that all the time. He'd put it on for like the photo. No, he wears it all the time. Like constantly.
And
so I remember being at the event. Yeah, but I remember just being at the event and watching you riding your bike and stuff, and I was like, holy shit, he still has it on. And it was always on you. Like, I never really saw you in like a stripped down outfit. When you were building the Radstag, you were, but besides that, Mike goes hard the whole event with that.
Yeah. I found out a trick about three or 4 years ago. I looked up, they sell these cooling vests that like NASCAR drivers use, but it's basically got like this plastic tube like that's basically weaved in and out of this vest, and you can connect it to a basically like a little cooler almost that's full of like ice water, and so it pumps this ice water through the vest, and I wear that vest underneath all of that leather now. So when I'm just about to like pass over from like all of the heat and losing all of the water via sweat and stuff like that, I can basically plug into this little like battery powered little pump thing that pumps ice water through it, and that kind of keeps me going. Other than that, the only other way to keep cool was just to keep riding on the motorcycle all around and not stop. And I think there's a few Wastelanders that have stories of getting some pretty fun motorcycle rides on the sidecar.
Does the vest hum or anything? Does it make any noise as it's plugged in?
No. The pump is like a fish tank, like water pump that's in the cooler. That's like kind of like in like a little suitcase bag on the side. And then the only thing that's in the vest is just the plastic tubing with two ends that for like the outgoing and the ingoing water. It's kind of like a dune still suit almost.
But not only is it hot, but it's heavy, right? Because you had I remember the last iteration I saw, you had bullet belts and stuff on it, and
so I weighed myself.
That was insane.
I weighed myself in the costume. The entire costume itself is about 200 pounds heavier than my normal weight. So I can only walk like maybe 3 blocks total, like without resting with that entire outfit. And then like the backs of my legs start hurting. And my knees. It's like, it's too much.
Do you weigh yourself before Wasteland and then weigh yourself after Wasteland just to see how much weight? You should like measure your calves and see how much like muscle you gain.
Yeah.
You think I'm joking? I'm like super into this now.
I think mostly it's water weight that I lose while I'm out there, because it's like I'm basically wearing like a wetsuit in the desert, right? It's just like all leather, like the leather top, bottom, and boots. Yes, it is liquid cooling. Nero just mentioned like his computer. But yeah, it's awesome. It's very comfortable. It's really expensive, so it took me a few years to save up for the entire rig.
So when during that, if it was during the first year, whether it was later, when during that brutal first year did you know that this event was going to be for you and something that you were going to want to keep doing?
Pretty much immediately. I had an absolute blast. Everyone was super cool and friendly. I think 2012 was the first year for a lot of other Wastelanders as well. I was camped right next to Attack Squad, and they were awesome neighbors. And I got to meet Tim and his tribe and his group and like a lot of other folks. And yeah, I made a lot of friends my first year, just from doing like build crew and getting to work with all those people. It really it made a good impression, and it kept me coming back year after year.
Yeah, build crew is a great way to meet people and really get in the participation spirit of the event. So I encourage everybody to do that if they are able.
Yeah. And there is, for those who can't necessarily do on-site build, there's also pre-event build crew, which is a lot of fun as well.
And there's always they always need people for teardown, helping pack up the event and leave, because I think they always get a little bit less people volunteer wise. So that was your first year back in 2012, but this past year was when you started the Rabid Radstag Saloon. So what sparked that idea?
Well, so the thing that started that whole entire, I think that set me off in that direction was that I was talking with Tim about, because I was in Attack Squad at that point, and I said, like, wouldn't it be cool if we were able to bring out like a player piano into the Wasteland and have it play like, this like, kind of like in an old timey saloon kind of a thing. And it didn't go over super well because, to be honest, it's not really a good idea to bring a player piano out into the Wasteland. Come to find out, they're real fragile. Pianos go out of tune really easily. It takes about 5 people to move it.
It's a good thing I had stopped by on that setup day.
Dude, for real.
I just popped in and it's like, oh, hey, what's going on? Hey, we need you to lift a thing.
Yeah. And then so after that, I kind of just, it just snowballed for me. The idea of doing a saloon sounded awesome. I contacted TJ because he was the other Wastelander that I knew that was like super into like the Western, like the post-apocalyptic Western theme. And he had mentioned that he had already done a makeshift saloon in the Death Caps camp. And so he sent me pictures of it. I'm like, oh, that's fucking cool. And then we started all the like the wouldn't it be cool if scenarios. And then I got a hold of the Death Caps and I said, like, let's do this thing. Like, let's make it happen. And then after that, I basically kind of like I bowed out of Attack Squad because the cultist motif wasn't really for me, and I had this look that I was trying to go for. So, and their camp is all volunteers, like, and throughout the whole beginning of Wasteland. So, yeah, so I kind of left and went my own direction from there. And the Death Caps hosted us, and we did this. We didn't have the saloon as a tribe. It was more like anybody that was interested and thought it was a cool idea could help in any way that they wanted to, however big or however small. Whether that meant like donating or doing art that helped out with it, or just coming and helping with build days and taking pictures of praying mantises and stuff like that.
Are you calling me out right now?
That was very specific.
I'm sure many people took photos of that particular praying mantis.
I felt a little called out. I did also, well, I did not vandalize, but somebody in my tribe, we vandalized the Meek Skullduggers tribe or their trailer.
This is a classic Aaron helped moment.
I was just sitting there.
Now, this next year, going forward, are you finally going to embrace making the Rabid Radstag a full-on tribe and get all those benefits?
Yeah. So I think that was the main thing that I learned the first year, is that as awesome as it was having a bunch of people come together and make it a reality. At the end of the day, it was
just you and Taylor.
It was just me and Taylor taking out the entire saloon. And
Not this Taylor, different Taylor, you guys.
Yeah, different Taylor. Yeah.
I don't.
Exile.
Yes, Exile. Yeah, I have totally forgot his Wasteland name. I'm a terrible friend.
I was like, it's on his arm. I can read.
Yeah. So it took us 5 days to bring out the entire saloon and build it. And it took just as many days to bring it back, except I didn't have Taylor bring it back with me. It was actually Brianna. I don't know if you guys know her, but she's an awesome.
I do not know her Wasteland name.
She's an awesome person though.
Yeah, she used to be with the casino.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, she's been helping like all kinds of folks and Wasteland and like build crew and stuff like that. She's fucking great. I'm also dating her, so that that doesn't take any part of that into account. She's just a great person all around.
Yeah, she used to work she worked the wheel. I remember that. But that was I think she stopped in like 15, I believe, and so she stopped kind of when I started. So yeah. Sorry. Nice. What's her Wasteland name?
I don't know her Wasteland. Okay. I never asked. I just call her Bree.
Okay. Well, I don't feel so bad for not remembering then.
Right.
I know her real life name.
I can't remember either.
Yeah. I know facts about her. That counts.
We talked about the Rabid Radstag a lot during the last Wastelander of the month because I know it was pretty much just you and Taylor building the whole thing, taking it down. A lot of work for two people. But there's a lot of people this year that kind of fell in love with it, like Gemini, our last tribe mate. Like you said, a lot of people making artwork and stuff. Mm-hmm. So are you currently recruiting for the tribe? Do you have any big plans for this next coming year now that you have the extra time? Yeah,
we're going to be recruiting, probably not super aggressively, but like anybody that's like interested in helping and wants to be a part of it, like there's definitely a place for most people that are awesome. If they're not awesome, they need not apply. But
yeah, I'm like, I sent some people your way to help with set up and tear down.
Oh yeah, I think you had two air raid sirens that were helping with setup. I didn't know they'd be around for teardown.
Oh, they were gonna be. I mean, for 2020, rest in peace. But yeah, they were planning on helping you with the things that you needed.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, mostly it's so this last year it was only 2 people that did tear down. So any help with tear down would be the most help. Because I was one of the last tribes leaving the Wasteland. It was like the Wednesday afterward, and the last thing that was loaded onto the trailer was that piano, and I couldn't do it myself, so I had to round up I rounded up Aaliyah, and she got like 5 more people, and we all pushed that fucking piano onto my trailer, and that was like the last day of me leaving.
She's good at that.
Yeah.
She was like, she's a good little ringleader. Like, I need people, come here.
Yeah, it's fucking great.
So you would say that you're currently recruiting for
absolutely. And anybody that's interested can get a hold of me or join like the Facebook page and be as much of a part of it as they want, actually. Even if they don't want to be in the tribe.
I'll put a link to that Facebook page in the description. We also have a link to the Rabid Radstag Patreon for people who want to get involved that way, which is always helpful. Do you have any like set goals and stuff on that Patreon, Mike?
I missed the last 20 seconds. I think something happened to my internet. What was it you said? Oh,
I was just saying we have the Rabid Radstag Patreon linked in the description. Is there any particular goals you have set up for people that want to donate and stuff via the Patreon? Like, what are your goals this coming Wasteland?
So this coming year, we're gonna try and get everything. We're gonna try and get everything polished. So making it easier to do load up. There are a few artistic projects we want to do. The biggest thing that was kind of like cringy for me this year that I didn't take into account was I want the front of the saloon to look more saloony. What we used pallet racks as a sturdy structure and built everything on that.
Sure.
With the intent that like nothing blows away. This last year, the entire saloon moved about a foot before we were able to double secure it
Ooh.
because it was so windy. It was pushing on those walls, and the whole structure kind of shifted a little bit. So what we ended up doing was we took we had a lot of extra ratchet straps and a lot of really long 2-foot rebar stakes. Is that we did guy lines from there, and once we did that, it was super secure. And the plan moving forward is to get it more secure, build it so that it's a little more uniform. What we also did was we got a lot of cheap pallet racking, and TJ was actually like a superstar in getting us a lot of that stuff. We picked it up from his work and we trucked it up there on his trailer, and that helped a lot. But so that's another plan, is getting everything uniform. We got some artistic ideas that people are kind of taking and running with, and we've got a guy who should be within the next few weeks or so starting a death claw head, like a 1/1 scale death claw head.
Nice.
It's gonna be about 3 feet wide.
Gonna mount it on the wall.
Yeah, we're gonna put it on a big wooden shield kind of a thing, and mount it like it's real.
If you guys are subscribed to the channel, there's a lot of footage from this past year that took place within the Rabid Radstag, and some of you guys will remember the player piano, which was heavily featured in most of my videos, including the Wasteland holding under a minute or whatever it was. But you could see the there's mounted, and I believe you made them, right, Mike? You there's a Rabid Radstag mounted head that's very, very cool in the saloon itself as one of the main props inside.
Oh yeah, that's a good story too. And I took pictures of the progress on that. But what we did was we weren't the Radstag at that point. Before, we were just going to do a saloon out there, and I was hoping to get the name the Scorched Earth Saloon. Rolls off the tongue nice. And we already had that fire pit of the burning earth that I had made with Tim and the Baron.
So rad.
It's really cool.
The world's on fire.
Yeah, I had the idea to do that, and then me and Tim and the Baron were there one night when I arrived with it, and then Tim drew out the image of the Earth, because we were trying to figure out who had the best artistic hand to do this before cutting it out. And Tim had a lot to drink, and it just every continent looked like chicken nuggets. It was so I got all butt hurt because I had spent $400 buying this giant metal buoy sphere thing.
Aww.
And so I had to go and correct a lot of the lines that were a little too soft. And then by the end of it, we were having fun, and then we all took turns cutting on it, and it was good times. And then of course, some of the continents are a little too big or misshapen, and Zephyr mentioned that the Australia kind of makes the whole thing kind of look like Meatwad from Aqua Teen Hunger Force, and he's not wrong. It's real embarrassing.
A chicken nugget is never the wrong shape.
It's awesome though, you guys. I think there's some footage of that too. It's a gigantic Earth, and the continents are the holes, and you can see the fire raging inside at night, and it's very cool.
Yeah, I love it. It's a good thing. I'm not sure if the fire pit's going to make it the next year because it takes an entire trip all to itself. But if we get the trailer that I'm hoping that we can get, well, now it's going to be 2021, so it's going to be a whole hell of a lot easier. Then it should be good times. We're getting a big old 3-axle, 20-foot flatbed trailer, and the idea is to have something that can hold the entire saloon in 1 or 2 trips.
That'd be impressive.
See if you guys want to help, if you want to join the Patreon and help support the Rabid Radstag, you can help make that happen. So that way you can secure that globe fire pit. Make sure it comes out this year.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And any help is massively appreciated. It's been an expensive venture.
Yeah, I'm you appreciated my help with your liquor cabinet.
Oh yeah, that was great. That looked fantastic, and you even added some hidden messages. I guess I could call them.
I did hide a message in it.
Yeah.
But then tried to hide a dick on it, and then you're like, no, make it bigger. And so there's a big giant dick on one side and a big vagina on the other side because you got to keep it even. But the fact that you just got excited about the fact that I did that, like, yeah, guys, he really needs help.
I'm surprised that the dick didn't have googly eyes on it.
I didn't have any, but I
Yeah.
did hide an ARS on it. That was the original thing, and then I was like, oh, I should have had a dick.
Listen, if you guys support the Patreon, I'll make sure that there's googly eyes that Aaron can put on that dick and complete the look.
Yes.
All proceeds go to the googly eye dick fund.
Yes.
It's gonna cost at least $5,000.
And I'm gonna be real disappointed if by 2021 we get out there and you don't somehow put googly eyes on the actual rad bag itself.
Hey, as long as I
Consider
have
it done.
permission, as long as I have permission, I find a lot of these shenanigans funny, but then I don't ever want to like actually upset anybody or like ruin anything, and so I'm always like, how?
That's totally legit. And I actually had like pretty strong feelings about the whole like let's steal it culture that Wasteland seems to have of like shit disappearing, because we actually had something disappear out in front that was I think Brianna brought out a horse from a carousel.
I loved that.
And it went missing one night, and it took us 2 nights to track it down. And it was actually I think somebody from Attack Squad came and just took it and like brought it to some other tribe, and we would have never gotten it back had she not gotten a whole posse together to try and track it down. But it kind of bums me out, because a lot of people will put like a lot of time and energy and money into their art projects, and to have people kind of swipe it seems kind of like a dick move to me.
Oh,
yeah,
absolutely.
There's supposed to be. I was going to say there's supposed to be a general rule that I hope people keep in mind this year. It's definitely something I think we as a community need to stress. But there is supposed to be items that are meant to be stolen that are marked with an exclamation point, so that you know that you're able to steal it. Everything else, as funny as it would be, please don't take stuff from people's camp and move it around. Just because, like Mike said, even if it's in good fun, you're just moving it to a place, the odds are it will never be found. And it's kind of a huge pain in the ass.
And people worked really hard on making the Relic game, so let's play it.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's a Relic game where items are marked with that exclamation point. They're safe to be stolen, and it's like a mission that you can partake in, so you don't have to take stuff that they don't want you to take.
In fact, that gives me a good idea that we haven't made anything like that's stealable, but we could totally do, like, I've gotten so many of those piano rolls that making like a stealable piano roll would be kind of cool. Like we have a lot of shredded ones, and they actually, those little rolls make some pretty decent like artistic like media. Like I've seen like lampshades made out of them and stuff like that are really cool. But having somebody swipe one of those scrolls, but have it be one of the busted ones, would not break my heart. Or we could make some kind of like neat art that
Or you can make the player piano your relic, and then have them try and steal that.
No.
Those things are so easy to break. That could only end in heartbreak.
Why don't you have Boss Cap be the relic?
Yeah, there we go.
I was going to say, how many of those broke before the one that you settled on? I know that you have one at home that's in good shape, right? You have like one that's set aside.
Yeah. So, so the piano, the piano that made it out to Wasteland is the third piano that we got. The first one we got is in my house, and we got it here, and we tested it out, and they said it was busted, but it actually worked once we cleaned out the pathways and stuff like that. But the thing is that most of those player pianos, the pipes, the air pipes behind them are made out of lead. Ooh. So once they go a certain amount of years, that stuff thins out and you barely touch it, and it just like it crumbles in your hand. And once you get a hole in one of those pipes, you just have a dead key after that. And then, so we decided that it would probably be a really bad idea to move this piano again without having, like, you can get like a player piano repair guy to come out, and I think there's like 2 in California, but they can replace all the pipes with like rubber pipes and stuff. But that's expensive. And so the second one we got with Mech, and we picked that up in a trailer. We had him drop it off, and we tried to get it working, and then we brought it out to Tim's place, and we put a tarp over it. But the problem was, you take something that has that much wood in it and you put it in the desert, and it leached all the moisture out of the wood, and it warped it. And it just, after a few days, even covered, it became unplayable. So we have an entire player piano that's out there that's dead, that we were thinking about maybe we'll just like light it on fire and have somebody play it as long as they can while it's on fire. That might be a fun thing to do.
May I suggest Mr. Fahrenheit? Because that'd make a very cool photo.
Right?
I'm also like, I know that Adam would learn how to play the piano just so he could play it on fire. I will learn how to play the piano just so it's on fire.
I will absolutely play a piano on fire. If there was any question that I wouldn't, those people were wrong. I am happy to facilitate any and all needs in that regard.
Keep that in mind, you guys, if you're dreaming big at this event. Mike achieved building a saloon with pretty much 2 people, and also got functional player pianos out there. You can do anything.
There was a lot of people involved in the saloon, like in general. Like, it was definitely not a 2-person show. Like, we had a lot of people doing a lot of different things that helped out in many ways that were fantastic. For instance, the piano that we finally got to bring out there, it was me and Neil, Boss Cap, and Kate, Trail Boss, who picked it up from this place in LA, who was like, I think this couple bought a home. I forgot what town it was down there, but when they moved in, there was a player piano there, and they didn't want it. Pianos take up a lot of space, so we volunteered to take it off their hands. And with a lot of us were able to get it on the back of my motorcycle trailer and get it out of there. And
oh my goodness.
yeah, that's just one instance of like a lot of people coming together and helping out the saloon. And like TJ, like, he came up for build days. He helped out a ton. He was there for ideas, and like great, like, he had a great amount of knowledge, and he also was able to get us a lot of like the actual structure that we used to build the saloon. So yeah, it's definitely wasn't a 2-man show. It's just there were 2 people bringing the entirety of everything that everybody helped to get it out there. And I think in the end, that's why we need to make it a tribe.
What advice would you give to first-timers, especially first-timers thinking of tackling an ambitious build or even making a tribe their first year?
My best advice for like a first year, like if I was going to do everything over again, like if I would just suggest to somebody their first year to just go and just plan on camping and surviving, and not have a gigantic, invariably, even if you're a veteran, like, the best plans can just fall to shit, like in the middle of the desert, or people get tired, or people bail. Figure out what your style is first, and then come out with a plan of like having that experience of doing it out there. Like, maybe you'll meet a tribe of people that have the same ideas as you, or you find your style with them, or they invite you to their group, or what have you. But like, going out to Wasteland that first couple of years, in my opinion, is the best inspiration for starting your own project.
Yeah, I think that's good advice. I think also, because I know that you've been, like you said, with Attack Squad and stuff, I think a tribe for the first time, because you might end up making your own. You might find one that you click with aesthetically. I think a lot of people don't understand that. Like, I have a lot of friends that I wouldn't have in my tribe per se. You can be friends with tribes without belonging to them, and you can camp with them as well. I think finding one to commit to later on down the line is always the better.
I specifically say straight up, it's a desert camping Mad Max themed costume party.
So you're totally honest.
Yeah. And it's, there's slightly offshoots depending on what you do there. For some people, it's a big fucking car show. For some people, it's an excuse to go all out making a costume. To other people, it's, there's minor LARPing aspects of it too.
Minor?
Yeah, I would say minor. I mean,
yeah, some people play minors.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, they're minor.
And and to other people, it's it's a chance to go out and socialize and drink and have fun. It's just a party, and and then there's that aspect of it too.
What would you say is your favorite aspect of Wasteland, having gone since 2012, which I think is like the definitive year for most people that are still attending now?
For me, I think my favorite aspect of it is I would say the artistic inspiration that it gives me. It's an awesome venue. I've been like a huge fan of the Mad Max movies ever since I was little, and to have that as the base of something that I can work towards building. It's like, people. I've always wanted a cool Wasteland vehicle. I was lucky enough to have that sidecar motorcycle to make into one. I don't have that sidecar motorcycle anymore, sadly. But having a Wasteland car is like a dream that I hope to achieve someday. And yeah.
Do you have a style of car that you imagine? Do you want like a rig? Do you want a something full of spikes? What's this car look like in your mind?
My dream car is different from the one that I'm actually going to end up building. I'm probably just going to end up taking whatever truck I have that's working and turning that into a Wasteland vehicle. But my dream vehicle, ever since the beginning, has always been to take a Jeep Grand Wagoneer and Wasteland that, like, straight up with the fake wood like panel sidelines and making something that looks very similar to like the car from National Lampoon's Vacation.
Oh my gosh.
And putting that on like a 4x4 with big old fat tires, and like making like the Wasteland family vehicle, except just totally like covered in bits of armor and tire and barbed wire and shit like that, and making it like battle ready.
I love that.
That'd be pretty sick.
The cars are something I feel like get overlooked a lot. I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about it. Because remember when I first wanted to go to Wasteland, one of the main things was I really wanted to see those cars. That is one thing I think is going to be strange at Neotropolis, because the cars are a big part of Wasteland, but I feel like that's something that's going to be kind of missing at Neotropolis, at least not as a big way. Are you planning on attending Neotropolis?
So
2021.
That's a complicated question. So coming 2021 was kind of like, so I was planning on attending Neotropolis, like just the end weekend afterwards, because it's hard to get off work now. Who knows if I'll even have work by that time next year. But I wanted to go, and I'm stoked on the whole like cyberpunk theme in general. I think it's super cool. Like I was into like Shadowrun as a kid and stuff. And a lot of those old books like Neuromancer I thought were pretty killer. So the idea initially when
Nope. I think we lost him for a minute.
Cyberpunk Saloon. No, I'm still. Did you lose me?
Yeah, you said
Yes.
with Adam.
Oh yeah. When you mentioned it, I was really excited, and like my knee-jerk reaction was basically, how could I make the saloon into a cyberpunk saloon and just like maybe skin it differently? And so I had actually received a taxidermy that I've yet to mess with. My dad sent me a big boar's head from back east, and my idea, yes, the Cyborg saloon.
Oh my gosh.
So the idea was
so into it.
Right? So the idea was give it like, like a laser eye, or like maybe like a camera eye on like one eye, and make it like glow.
Right,
and you can have it shoot real lasers.
Yeah.
Yeah, duh.
Totally. And
take it to post.
I was gonna pull out the top and bottom tusks and make like the top tusks like exhaust pipes, and the bottom tusks like some sort of like like jagged like rebar nastiness, and make it a little more cyber and give it that like kind of like Battle Angel look kind of a thing.
I love this. This is a great idea.
And then Adam's been like making tons of progress with like making that LED neon look cool, and I figured take those iconic like the red, blue, and yellow colors that what's that movie that I'm thinking of? What's that movie with it's like post-apocalyptic and the kid's wearing all red and he has that
Turbo Kid.
Turbo Kid, yeah. So the Turbo Kid colors are like the perfect colors. and then just have like those 3 neon like going across like the top wall of the
Oh my
saloon,
gosh,
and just
yes.
you basically just add neon and LED to like literally everything in the saloon, and make it kind of more like. Did you ever see Cherry 2000?
No, I
No.
actually haven't.
It's a real good post-apocalyptic movie. They do like a fantastic job with a low budget, and they have a saloon in the very beginning that that has a lot of neon like that, and it looks like shit, and it's great. But the movie's basically about there's this rich guy, and he's in like the main metropolis, and he has like basically like a sex robot, except his sex robot is more like a wife, and it gets damaged, and he needs to basically find a new body for it, but they don't make them like that anymore. Like they only make like these ones that are kind of like crappy sex doll versions of it. So the whole movie is about him trying to find a replacement body for his sex robot. And yeah, except it's a real good movie. I highly recommend it.
I want to help with the I want to see your design for the cyborg, because if that's something you're still doing, I definitely want to draw that cyborg head. That'd be very cool.
That'd be amazing. In fact, I still haven't designed any of it. I would love for people to help me with like ideas and stuff like that. Or, I even contacted Brett to ask if he had any good like lighting ideas for something like that, because he makes those guns for all those cyberpunk guns, and they look fucking fantastic.
We're talking about Critical Bigs.
Yes.
Yep. The Outpost 66 weaponry.
Very cool. Yeah, that sounds very neat. I think a lot of people will be excited about that.
Yeah. So basically, the short answer is yes. I would love to do the Neotropolis thing. I would love to bring out the saloon. It's just a matter of basically money and time. So
if you guys want to help donate, do you also just have an open donate? I know the Rabbit Steak has like a PayPal, right?
Yeah, it does. It has let me look it up real quick.
I'll put that donation link in the description as well once this video is done. So if you guys want to commit to being a patron, that would be ideal. But if you just want to throw some money towards the Rabid Rad Stag, if you want to see this end up at Neotropolis, we have a while to make that cash, because that really, when it comes down to it, paying for storage, paying for resources is incredibly helpful if you can't help with physical labor and stuff like that. So I'll put that in the description if you guys are interested.
Yeah, that would be
also,
amazing.
yeah, I'm like, I believe I told you about this rumor going around, Three Will, but the Rad Stag was 100% financed from Three Will. Like, someone was asking me if telling me that Wasteland helped pay for it.
No, the Wasteland didn't help pay for it. We had a few people like give us like a few $100s here and there.
Yeah, but that's not
for the first year. But yeah, no, I actually I maxed out a couple of credit cards last year.
And you sold your bike.
Yeah, and I sold the bike. So after everything was said and done, all of the resources, all of the materials to build it, getting out there, gas and stuff like that, I saved all the receipts. It was over $15,000 to do that, and then I sold the motorcycle to afford like a lot of the structure and stuff like that. But I sold that for like $7,000. So it's not like I put $15,000 on credit cards, but like,
yeah,
I would say a lot of it.
Up.
Yeah, a lot of it was like the first and like initial amount of pallet racks were expensive. The like getting everything to and from Wasteland was expensive. I used a beat up old Ford F-350, and it's the entire saloon is being kept at Tim's place, which is about a little over an hour from Wasteland. So it's like 60 miles, and it cost about $100 to fill up the tank, and to get out there and back, it was about a tank of gas. So we did 5 trips.
Oh, geez.
So 5 trips out there and 5 trips back was like real expensive. And that was just the gas money alone was nuts. But, other expenses, like when I bought the Rad Stag themselves, like the heads, the taxidermy heads, that was like a few people chipped into that. That was like me and Sierra and Neil. We chipped in, and we got those heads initially, and then I bought the other pieces like the eyes and the baboon teeth and all the other stuff.
It turned out great. It's very cool.
Thank you. That was my first taxidermy attempt, and I'm actually kind of inspired to maybe take some classes or something to make.
I was gonna say
stuff look good.
I was gonna say if that's something that you pursued, I'd definitely commission something funky. That was pretty badass.
I don't know if this person teaches, but I have seen that they do it. I don't know their real life or their Wasteland name, but Mikey Sanchez.
Oh yeah, I think he does it professionally.
Yeah, I've seen a lot. I've seen his stuff on Instagram and stuff like that. So I'm like, that's if you wanted to pursue that, that's definitely someone you should reach out to and get advice.
I would love to.
I'm amazed that was your first attempt. That's a very ambitious first taxidermy to go for.
Also, I love the baboon teeth.
Right? I got those off of Etsy. Like you can find a lot of cool, like those were just like two, basically, what was it? Like resin molds. And then I'm terrible at painting, but Ashley painted up the teeth to make it look real good. And then I eventually made a tongue out of Sculpey that just hangs out of one of their mouths. And then the only other kind of like taxidermy thing I did was I got this huge set of like 4-foot long steer horns, and I chopped out the center and I put a horse skull in it. And one of the inspirations for that was, if you've ever seen the movie Time Bandits.
Yes.
At the very end of the movie, the evil like summons these like demon things that have like these horse skulls on top that have these huge horns. And like that's where I got the idea from that. And I figured, if I make something like that, look real cool. And then I put some lights in there for eyes. And Ashley calls it the Lich, and that's a pretty good name.
Many people kissed it or hid things within its mouth, I noticed.
Nice.
I missed out on that.
Keep that in mind if you're thinking about kissing it in the future.
Yeah.
Somebody had put a Cult of Cat Meat little zine in its mouth. I noticed one day, and I thought that was pretty cute.
That was on video. Aaliyah. It was Aaliyah's what I'm saying. Anyway.
Team Rocket.
Yeah. Mike sold his namesake, the 3-wheeled bike, to help fund the Radstag. Are you looking for a new Wasteland name? Are you open to one?
I definitely am. Exile was actually mentioning that after we fix up the truck, you might have to change it to 5th wheel because we'll be towing a much bigger trailer. And that would be a funny name, but also be kind of a sad name if nobody realizes where it comes from. I don't want to be a 5th wheel, guys. But that's what the towing method is called.
I just really wanted to clear that rumor up. Because as soon as I heard it, I'm like, no, Wasteland did not pay for this, and I want you to get all the credit that you deserve because that's rad. And yeah,
Radstag.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's actually the first time I've ever heard of that rumor. But
I didn't tell you that at Wasteland.
I know, unless I forgot it. But no, nobody else has mentioned it to me.
Well, now you know.
They
that's
don't
a
have
rumor.
the balls.
That's a rumor that I heard at Wasteland a few times, and I squashed it.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I did put a lot of money into it, and it's still paying off those cards.
Yep. But you also have a magnificent saloon,
right?
Yeah.
And
also, if you make that patch, I will buy it.
Okay, I think I'm gonna have to make the patch. I was also actually talking to Tim right when I heard about the Wasteland being canceled this year, and I was saying that it takes 5 people about a day and a half to 2 days to build the saloon, and the saloon is being stored at Tim's, and we've built the entire saloon structure there, so we might have to have some kind of party, maybe like a big saloon party at Tim's place at some point this year once the COVID fizzles out.
That would be very cool.
You were supposed to have your birthday party.
Yes. Right. March 14th was my birthday, and that was pretty much the weekend when things were starting to shut down. And I just figured better safe than sorry. I'd rather not have.
I was very grateful. Yeah. I was grateful that you
2020.
Yeah, I was grateful that you canceled because I was like, I want to go, but I can't. I don't want to. It was a really hard dilemma. So I
Yeah.
was like, I want to like celebrate your birthday with you, but then I'm like, I choose life
Right.
every once in a while.
So
But
does
yeah,
my-
that'd be cool. Do you guys have any questions? Anybody in the chat, any of the mayoral cabinet want to ask Mike some questions before we
yeah.
part ways?
Are we really keeping this at like an hour? Wow.
I have to play D&D.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just real confused, or I was impressed. I mean, our pre-meeting was a lot longer than normal. That could be why.
Yeah.
True,
Yeah, you guys, we were hanging out a little bit this time. Hopefully we can get together more often now that we for sure have time. We're going to try to bring you a tribe of the month during this April, so stay tuned.
Oh yeah, and anybody who's interested in being a part of the saloon, the Facebook page is pretty open. So if people have ideas or they want to be involved in any aspect, they can either just get a hold of me directly or go there. And it's a pretty open forum about what we're doing and working on and stuff like that. We're excited to share our progress.
Yeah, I'll link that in the description as well, you guys. So check it out. Check out the social media about it. People are very friendly on there. It's a nice group of people.
I agree.
Now I have more
mean,
time to make my can outfit.
Yes,
That's right.
I'm excited about that.
That's
If
right.
I make it, I'm going to bribe the Amazon to help me.
Aw, you're literally buying from Amazon.
I do. I bribe Amazon, and then they help me.
Amazon is in fact my personal fashion consultant slash
Yeah.
fabricator.
You know what's the weirdest thing? There's another person that goes to Wasteland that's also a gigantic, beautiful redhead. And
I'm pretty sure they met. Yeah, I think they know each other.
Did they meet? Because I remember there was a moment where I was told somebody, I'm like, go get Amazon. And like, what do they look like? I'm like, you can't miss them. They're giant and they have red hair and they're very beautiful. And they're like, is this her? And they brought back some other girl. And I was like, no. I was
Wait.
like, how did you find her?
There is another very tall redhead that looks like tall Lady Fahrenheit.
Oh, I was like, there is a tall the other
I know
redhead.
her. This one looks weirdly like the Amazon we're talking about. She's slightly older, but like she looks.
I think she's
freakishly like
taller
her.
too.
She is. She's giant.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I believe Amazon met her and was like, we have to be friends or something like that. But
we have to be friends or we have to kill each other.
She wears black war paint across her face. The moment that I met her, although I had a moment like that too because I guess I was ambiguous with my there was somebody that was looking for my bounty this past year, and they were like, I forget how they phrased it, but they're like, oh, somebody was looking for you, and I was like, well, what do they look like? And their hair. They didn't say the gender. They have long hair. They wear like a cowboy hat, and I go, "Oh, that's my lover." Because I thought they were talking about TJ.
That sounds just like TJ.
It was some girl, and I was like, "That is not my lover." And her and I were both laughing. I was like, "Although you do completely fit the description of everything I described."
Cowboy hat, long hair. Yep.
I'm like
Leather
picturing you going up
pants.
to Maverick, like, "Oh, you're looking for me? Hey, blah blah blah," and he's like, "No, I'm good."
Yeah, exactly. I think she also had a bunch of badges on her outfit, so I was like, "Oh,
that would have been perfect."
I was like, you do fit the description, though."
It's like, you're looking for me? No.
I am now.
I think also he was at camp, so I was confused.
I just remembered the new projects that we were going to be doing for this year.
Yes.
We're going to basically be redoing the entire front of the saloon because it didn't look saloony enough. So we're going to be doing like a roof, like a 45-degree angle roof, like corrugated metal.
Ooh.
And then we're going to have a bench swing out front, or maybe
I love that.
Yes.
or some rocking chairs.
Very cool.
We talked about that. Yes.
Chair.
We talked about that.
Yeah. And then once that's done, I also got it's like a rubber roller that puts like wood grain, like it basically turns paint into like wood like a wood grain kind of image. So we're gonna make it look
cool.
like more like rustic, more like woody, and try and get rid of that like we're using basically like Costco racks to build this structure. We're gonna basically try and camouflage that as much as possible.
I just keep thinking of Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah, we're gonna go for that. We're also gonna have you know those
Half pint. We can call you half pint.
if you go to like a kiddie park, they have those basically
I don't
little
think he
horses.
cared for
Paw.
that.
The horses that you ride that are on springs.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my! Are you sure? Because a lot of drunk people are gonna eat shit on that.
That's
Yeah.
that sounds like a them problem.
Exactly. We're gonna have like a little horsey.
Mechanical bull.
Yes, like probably a little bull.
Don't do a mechanical bull.
We're definitely gonna
Do a
be doing.
mechanical bull.
Yeah.
We're gonna be doing a bomb with like handles on it, so people can bounce back and forth on the bomb.
Hear me out. Mechanical bull painted yellow.
Okay.
Just like
Uh,
emoji.
Is the mechanical bull operational?
we actually had talked about a mechanical
There
bull.
is no mechanical bull.
Okay, well, because I'm
Yes.
saying I used to work at a place that had a mechanical bull, and if this is something that you really want to do, then we need to talk because there's a lot of liability. I've seen many broken noses and broken wrists, and
There's several. There's
I think
several
he was
types
just gonna
of
have the horse
mechanical
on the
bulls.
spring.
I've seen certain kinds that are like smoother that don't really have handles that are completely surrounded by like that like the bounce castle like kind of like stuff. So when you land, you just you hit stuff like that. But
these are all injuries from the broken noses were from faces hitting the bull.
oh yeah,
And the wrist that no handles that would help a lot, but yeah, like a lot of people like that hold on to their wrists, like mess up their wrists and break fingers, and
yeah, probably a bad idea. But
I mean it's fancy, it's hilarious and fun. Maybe get like a kid one.
yeah, that's a good
Maybe.
idea.
Do they
Baby's
have
first
kid
mechanical
ones?
buffalo.
They have little kid ones.
Or we could also have like a
I think-
like a lasso roping station for like practicing and stuff like that. We could have like fun games where people can like
Ooh.
lasso the bull.
Team up with the BYOS, and then do the lassoing, and then they can bring that. That's part of the challenge. The lasso them, and then they bring them to the Saints, or not the Saints, the Savages. Sorry, Savages. Sorry, Echo.
Every part of this sounds like Flintlock's ultimate fantasy.
Right.
Hey, that's all I'm here to do.
I miss Flintlock.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Oh yeah. And so the other thing is we were going to do windows out front, sugar glass windows, so that we could throw people through them.
Ooh.
For our bar fights that we were going to have with sugar glass bottles that we were going to break over.
Oh my
people's
gosh,
heads.
I remember that.
Yes.
That is also that's an expensive project too, because I've
You
looked up.
need to join the
I wanna
Radstack
film
Facebook group
this.
because there's all these shenanigans have been discussed. Join the group.
So I've looked up the sugar glass bottles on Amazon, and
Yes, for sure.
they're pretty expensive. They're like $15-20 a bottle, but you
I
can
wonder
also
if you
get.
could make
There's
it.
actually
There are molds.
there's a prop house.
Oh no!
that
You know what? If you
just,
want to be in the if you want to be in the fight, BYOB. Bring your own bottle.
No,
Bring your own sugar glass bottle. That needs
Make
to be
your own.
Checked ahead of time.
There's also there's a prop house that just closed down that I think is selling stuff like that. Actually, I'll see if I can find it because I remember I was
that'd be cool.
looking at some of their stuff when I was stuck here one day. That'd be very neat.
Right?
Somebody in the chat says salami enough, and I don't know what they're referring to. Does anybody? Is that an inside joke I'm not aware of?
Salami enough. Nope.
salami enough. What?
I got nothing on that one.
Yeah. I
Salami
have no
enough?
idea.
I was like, is that a Fahrenheit breakfast thing or?
I feel like it's like one of those things where you have to read the word over and
All right,
over
you
and
guys,
over again, and then it means something.
I'm
Yeah.
afraid to do
Oh,
that
yeah.
on here because who knows what it
Doing it in my head. it's
means.
just- no.
Saloon stuff.
But I know that Ms. Mayor is on a timeline. So
Yes.
do we have
yeah.
any final thoughts? Is there anything else that you'd like to share with our captive COVID audience, Three Wheel?
No, that's
COVID-free,
just,
hopefully.
that covers it. Oh yeah, thankfully, I don't think I got it, but late January, I had a really bad cough that lasted 2 weeks and a fever. All the same symptoms, but I didn't test for anything, so who knows?
Anyone have anything else they want to plug? I will say that if you haven't seen it, Adam or Axel of Wasteland will in fact be doing a fireside chats of sorts in about 10 minutes on Facebook.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
I didn't see that.
Yes. He made a post. He's going to do a fireside chat sort of deal.
Rad.
Yeah, go check that out.
Stag.
And
Ms., any parting
Stag.
thoughts for our audience before you go D&D?
Yeah, you guys. And keep an eye out. I'll have all the Rabid Rad Stag links up. I know the Patreon's up there, but I'll get you guys the PayPal and the Facebook group if you guys are interested in that. Don't be afraid to reach out, join the group, see what you can do. You have time now. Disappointed by the news, but I do think it is for the best and for public safety. And I think we could make Wasteland 2021 very, very cool. There's a lot of potential here. So, thank you guys for joining us. Thanks, Mr. Fahrenheit and the interpreter. And thank you, Mike. And thanks for the Rabid Rad Stag and hanging out with us tonight. It's been very cool.
Thanks for having me.
Everyone stay
Do you have
safe.
any last things you want to plug or?
Just my girlfriend. Heyo.
Ew. Which one? Ew.
That's a whole other conversation.
Polyamory.
Right?
Ethical non-monogamy. Good job.
Anyway, everybody stay safe and stay inside.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Yes.
Adios.